Good morning and welcome to Trent Hills Today. My name is Susan. It's Wednesday, April the 4th. Can you believe this weather? I mean, it's blowing around like there's no tomorrow. Oh well, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. For those of you who work, you're happy to know that more of the week is behind you than ahead of you. And for me, it's the morning after the Hastings council meeting. And I have to tell you, the nice thing about going to Hastings is that for the first hour I at least have some companionship while people wait to hear about their land severances or whatever other issues they have, be it driveways or culverts and stuff like that. And I'm always amazed that Jim Peters is able to recite this blurb that he has to recite about that things are posted and that he's notified the appropriate parties, and he does such a good job of it. And I guess, you know what, he's been doing it a long time, and he obviously is able to go with the flow. Last night at council, he also made a presentation. They call it a staff report. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read it to you. I'm sharing this with you because it's all about the fire hall. There is a lot of information going on in our community, and some of it may be accurate, some of it is accurate, and some of it is I don't know what. And I believe that it is important that we have information. We no longer have a newspaper that we can rely on to provide the information. The reporter, John, was at council meeting 2 weeks ago, and I think the community was expecting a report in the community press. It was printed online at northumberland.ca, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have seen it. I know from the comments that I read that a lot of people were wondering why the information was there and not in the printed paper. It may be in the printed paper this week, I don't know, but I'm just, at this point in time, this is what we have. And so I thought I would share this information with you so that you could be informed, because part of what Trent Hills Today is to keep you, the community, informed, whether it's about great things like our festivals and stuff like that, or whether it's about things that impact our community in other ways. I think it's really important that I provide you with the information as it is available to me or to us as the public. So last night, Jim Peters made this staff report presentation, and the background or the rationale, because there are forms, for those of you who have never seen these documents, there are forms, and it says the municipality of Trent Hills is working with the county of Northumberland on a new emergency services building to be located in Campbellford. The building will be located on the vacant lot at the corner of River and Doxy. And then he goes on, because he's involved with the land, to describe the land in various and sundry forms. And it goes on. The proposed building is approximately 15,475 square feet, with 8 main bays for the fire services and 3 ambulance bays. It also contains the offices and other ancillary rooms and spaces to support these issues. The council chamber is on the 2nd floor with other rooms and supporting components. The building is served by an elevator as well as stairs. And then it goes on again in length to describe a variety of things that most of us would not be that interested in. So that tells you how big the fire station is going to be and some of the components. Back in July 2017, I didn't go to this meeting because it was after a long weekend, and like many people I had guests, so I didn't get to this meeting, and I wasn't aware of this report. This report is from Lynn Phillips, and it is on the Campbellford Emergency Services base. And again, there's a whole bunch of financial analysis done. The cost of the building is $6,725,723. And it's broken out. There's a little box here to describe it, and there's a lot of technical talk here about proportionate and shared costs. So It further goes on to say the estimated cost to the municipality of Trent Hills for the fire station and the administrative use is $5,606,718 plus applicable taxes. The Strategic Master Fire Plan completed 5 years ago estimated a cost of between $6.7 million and $7.3 million for a 2-story fire station. So then it goes on, and I think this is important, and math is not my greatest suit, but it says the annual debt servicing cost on $5.7 million is estimated to be approximately $400,000 a year using an interest rate of 4.5% and a 25-year term. Based on information available in 2017, this equates to an approximate cost of $30 per every $100,000 of assessment. So the $100,000 of assessment that they're referring to here is your property taxes. So that is the information that is forthcoming from the community or the municipal offices. But one of the interesting things, and I printed off the report, one of the interesting elements that came out of this at the end, on the last page, is a diagram, and you can find this online, and it says clearly here in quite legible letters, 3-story station. This report and Ms. Phillips' report speaks to a 2-story fire hall. In an article written and printed last year by John Campbell, the same thing was stated. The estimated cost of the shared facilities at the corner of Doxy Avenue and River Street is $6,725,723 million, with Trent Hills' share being projected at $5.6 million. The chief further goes on to say the new fire station will have an additional 2 bays. So this says 8, and he says an additional 2 bays for a total of 10. And we are really putting a lot of emphasis on storage. The paramedics who currently work out of Campbellford Memorial Hospital will have 3 bays instead of 2, a supervisor's office, lounge, and medical storage area. There will be a gym for the paramedics and firefighters to use. We are hoping to be in the end of 2018 or 2019. So that is the information that the community has publicly published. All right? So, as we all know, you can find facts and figures to suit any story. You can find things that support one side or the other. But there has been a lot of research done by a number of people in the community to address some of the comments made in here. And one of the stories that came out, or one of the pieces of information that came out, is from a site called Firehouse. Firefighters have all kinds of information. You can go online, and it's called Fire Wikipedia, and you can find out what fire halls have, what vehicles they have, how big they are, which ones are retired, which ones are used for parades. So there's lots of information online. You can find out whatever you want to look up. So the question was, why do fire stations cost so much? And it says here, why can't we build a fire station for less than $500,000? It says that one of the things I found interesting is that the architect explain the square footage construction at being about $160 a square foot for a 2,500 square foot station, and that would cost about $400,000. They talked also about the fact that in smaller rural communities, there isn't this revenue base that a lot of the big cities have, so that having the big fire halls would be very, very difficult. And so the question then became, well, what do you get for 2,500 square feet? And the architect answered, 2 apparatus bays, 70 by 18 feet long, and that will use up 1,260 square feet, which will allow for other important functions such as space dedicated for turnout gear, gear washing and drying, storage, toilet and shower facilities, control room, and other critical functions that need to be identified early in the design process. So there they're talking about building 2,500 square feet, 2 bays, and what you get along with that. And the other thing that I found is from the Ministry of Community Safety and Correctional Services. And it says, and this is a report from 2015, total fires reported have been decreasing even as the number of population and structures have been increasing. Lost fires are defined as any fire from injury, fatality, or dollar loss. All lost fires reported have declined. Structure fires represent 66% of total fire loss, and these numbers have been decreasing. So this is, and there's endless amounts. There's graphs that could drive you crazy. So I think this is important information that we need to look at with the fire hall. I know that the municipality is moving forward, but it is a big structure, 15,000 square feet. Other studies have shown, and there's research to support that you can build these types of structures, and these types of structures include medical facilities that require certain specific details, research labs, and fire halls. And these buildings can all be built between $175 a square foot to $225 a square foot. And then there's soft costs in there, but that's not what we're talking about here. So if you're looking at 15,000 square feet and you split the difference between 175 and 225 and take $200 a square foot, you're coming up with a cost of about $3 million. That's not $5 million or $6 million. And I think it's reasonable that when you read this information, you go online to places that specialize in fire halls, and they are quoting numbers at 160 and more, certainly more. We have to ask, and we should be able to get answers to why we are building 15,000 square feet and why it is costing so much, and why the reports that I've read to you talk about 2 stories, and yet the document submitted by Jim Peters yesterday shows on the last page that it is a 3-story fire station. I'm not challenging anybody. I'm simply reading what has been made public and additional information. And I think that the community has the right to get some answers. And to leave this on a happier note, if you aren't happy with what I've just said, in the local Trent Hills Tribune, our firefighters get a shout out. And it says, members from the Trent Hill Fire Department volunteered delivering meals and checking smoke alarms under their Armed and Ready Senior Smoke Alarm Program. Between 2004 and 2017, 41% of all fatal fires in Ontario involve people over the age of 60. And we have an aging community, and that is a reality, and we have to deal with that. But I think one of the things that this speaks to, and one of the things that it speaks to in these documents that have done research on firefighters and fires, is that the firefighters have done an amazing job of teaching us to use smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. We have better building products. We know how to behave more appropriately in our home and around fires. And it's all because the firefighters have taken the time to educate us and make us aware of the dangers if we don't pay attention. So a huge shout out to the Trent Hill firefighters. I know that the community supports you in every way. I'm aware that Campbellford has experienced many fires, and that makes people very apprehensive. And so I think it is reasonable that people want to have fire halls close to where they live and work, but I also think that we need to look at this and maybe have a community discussion. I don't think it's unreasonable when we're being asked to spend $5 million or more on one structure in our community. So, until we meet again, take care.